Can a snake come back and bite you after it's dead? Is there any truth to the phrase, running around like a headless chicken? What would you do if faced with these zombie animals? Or is there really no such thing as immortal animals? Keep watching all the way to number 1 for a creature that will prove you wrong. Before we get on with 10 animals that live after death, make sure you support us and subscribe to our channel on the bottom right. After that, hit the bell button below and we are good to go. 10. Cobras. If you behead a zombie, it will stop lunging to bite you. If you behead a cobra, it can still come back for vengeance. Reptiles are known to have a much slower metabolism than most creatures, meaning that their organs can stay alive for a surprising amount of time after death. But you never realize to what extent that is. In southern China, a chef was preparing a cobra for a soup dish. More than 20 minutes had passed since the cobra's head was cleanly chopped off. But somehow, the snake rose up and bit the chef, killing him. This isn't the first time a dead snake attacked someone. In January 2014, a venomous red-bellied black snake bit a man a whole 45 minutes after its body was chopped in half with a shovel. This phenomena can be credited to reptiles, especially venomous snakes such as cobras and rattlesnakes, having quick reflexes that still remain activated in their brain even long after they die. 9. Northern leopard frogs. If you stumble upon a northern leopard frog half buried or lying at the bottom of a body of water, don't immediately assume that it's dead beyond saving. By all appearances, the frog is dead, biologically and mentally dead, but it's just waiting for winter to pass. When the weather gets unbearably cold, frogs form these ice crystals inside their body cavity, reaching even their bladder. Remember that biological death we were speaking about. The frog's heart will stop beating, it will stop breathing, and it will partially bury itself at the bottom of a body of water. As the temperature grows even more freezing, the area around where the frog is hibernating freezes as well. So what makes frogs come back to life after this temporary death? See, frogs have an insane amount of glucose in their bodies, in their vital organs such as their hearts, and that's what's stopping them from flatlining even weeks later. Another reason why is because they don't need their nostrils to breathe. They can suck oxygen in through their skin. When winter is over, the frogs' bodies thaw from the ice, their hearts restart on their own, and they'll start breathing normally, as if they didn't just defy death. 8. Chicken. The phrase running around like a headless chicken has never rung truer. Have you ever wondered how long can a chicken run around without its head? The answer will shock you. The record for this belongs to Mike, the headless chicken, also known as Miracle Mike. Mike survived without its head for a whopping, mind-blowing 18 months. Mike's story was supposed to end in 1945 when his owner, Farmer Lloyd Olson, took an axe to its head. However, Olson's cat leapt up, grabbed the head and took off. When the cat did this, Olson missed Mike's jugular vein, ear, and thus left most of its brainstem perfectly intact. Somehow Mike was able to keep breathing, walking, eating, and even balance on a perch. Seeing an opportunity to profit off this miracle, Olson took Mike on tours around the country. At the peak of their success, Mike the headless chicken earned $4,500 a month, which in today's money is worth nearly $50,000. Mike met his long overdue fate when he was one day left alone in the motel room and choked on a corn kernel. Before we get on with the creature that survived the last 400 million years, just hit the like button to fully support us. 7. African lungfish. Lungfish have been alive and thriving and abundant since the Triassic Age, some 400 million years ago. One particular species, the African lungfish, is known as a living fossil. What makes them do an elaborate dance? They can literally slow down their biological clock. If they find themselves out of the water, they can survive for up to 3 to 5 years by sleeping. During this time, they don't need any sustenance and they'll only rise from the dead when fresh water is available again. During this time, they don't eat or drink. They also won't produce waste. If they need to, they'll just bury themselves at the bottom of a lake or riverbed to escape death. 6. Alligators. It's terrifying enough to think that cobras can still kill you without breaking a sweat, even headline. Can dead alligators do the same? Thankfully, the answer is no. Alligators cheat death in other ways. When temperatures around them reach past the freezing point, they'll draw upon millions of years' worth of survival skills. So, if the temperature around them drops, alligators will peek their snot out of the water while keeping their 500 pounds heavy bodies completely underwater. With icicles stuck to their snouts, they still remain alive through this state of suspension. During this time, they are aware of their surroundings, but they won't eat for the next few months, as their metabolism is dangerously lowered to survive the cold. As the weather warms up, give or take a few months, they return like it's business as usual. 5. Tardigrade. A tardigrade's appearance is deceiving. You would never think that you're looking at one of the most powerful, enduring, and indestructible creatures in history. 1 millimeter long, tardigrades taunt the Grim Reaper by playing dead when the temperature drops to freezing. More than even alligators, tardigrades' metabolisms shut down. Oxygen? They need little to zero amounts of it. To ensure their survival, they even rid their cells of water. Using this method, they can endure environments devoid of water and at temperatures as low as minus 328 degrees or as high as 304 degrees Fahrenheit. A tardigrade can hang in there for years. When it's exposed to water once more, it only needs a few hours before its body reanimates and goes back to its regular functions. So they can survive being frozen. They can handle being dried out, deprived of oxygen, and even blasted with radiation. And get this, tardigrades have even survived trips into a vacuum of space. According to researchers, it will only take something as apocalyptic as the death of the sun to wipe out all tardigrades on Earth. Up until then, they're expected to survive for the next 6 billion years from now. 4. Scorpions. Is there anything more terrifying than a deadly scorpion? A dead scorpion. It's believed that scorpions have been around on Earth longer than we can imagine. Around 420 million years ago, they were one of the first animals to adapt to land living, settling in every continent except for Antarctica, in almost every kind of habitat. Among the places where you can find them in rainforests, grassy prairies, and of course, deserts. No matter where you find them, you're looking at a well-prepared survivor. Scorpion can live for months without eating due to their exoskeleton's fat layers, 12 months to be specific. It's no wonder that they can live from 2 to 25 years long. That's not their only survival mechanism. They can survive long, seemingly inhospitable periods of cold temperatures. Scorpions are resistant to water and can dramatically slow down their metabolism. That means you can never drown a scorpion. It can happily live underwater for up to 2 days. That also means that you can't freeze it. If it looks frozen, it's likely playing dead and scurry along after it's thawed. 3. Siberian permafrost worms. What do Siberian permafrost worms say to death? Not today. In 2018, Russian scientists uncovered 42,000 years old frozen worms. One researcher wanted to experiment a little, so they took one worm from the Siberian permafrost and over a span of several weeks, they slowly thawed it. Also taking a chance, they then placed it with some food in a petri dish and stored it at a temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. To their shock, the worms came back to life. Not only that, but they moved and ate like it was the Upper Paleolithic age all over again. This makes the first evidence of multicellular animals going into natural cryopreservation. 2. Cockroaches. Are cockroaches likely to outlive us? Without a doubt. They can outlive their own death date by weeks. If their bodies don't fail after weeks without sustenance, cockroaches would just go on living. Unlike us, cockroaches don't have blood pressure as we do. And also, unlike us, they don't have an elaborate, extensive network of blood vessels. What they have, and what saves their lives, is an open circulatory system. If a roach's head is cut off, they won't die like nearly every other creature on the planet. Their severed necks would seal off by clotting. Spiracles in their bodies, these little holes that they have, enable them to do all the breathing they need. If, before they died, for the first time, they had a big meal, they can continue living for weeks on end, and as long as they don't encounter any predator, a virus, bacteria, or mold, they'll continue creeping around. 1. Jellyfish. All these previous animals should take notes from jellyfish. This is truly the one creature that we can honestly call immortal. Jellyfish are seriously overpowered. Why? They can resurrect themselves after death and start a new life cycle. This immortal jellyfish species, which is called Turritopsis dawni, can be found in all of the world's oceans. If it comes across some sort of environmental stress, such as a life-threatening injury or starvation, it survives by reverting back to being a tiny baby blob of tissue and changing into the polyp phase of jellyfish's life. Think of it as butterflies reverting back to being caterpillars. If a Turritopsis dawni doesn't meet a predator and isn't killed by an external source, then in theory, they could essentially live forever by switching back and forth between life stages. That was all for today, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought of these death-defying animals. Which one shocked you the most? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep creating videos for you. Till the next one.